In today's video, I'm going to install this 4-pronged wiring harness to operate the lights on a small tent trailer that I'm going to tow with this van, which is a 2007 Ford Freestar. In this configuration, the white wire is ground, brown is taillights, the yellow and green are signal lights, and brake lights. And little disclaimer now, if as we go through this, you might see a whole bunch of other wiring or whatever. If you happen to see that, that is, don't get intimidated. I got 2 projects going on. I'm also installing a backup camera. That'll be a future video. I'm on the rear driver's side of the vehicle. I popped out the tail light, which wasn't a big deal, just 2 screws up here. Pulled it up and it popped out. You can see these where it just pushes in like that. So I did that to get access to the wiring to see what colors I have here. Getting access to the wiring is obviously going to be very specific to the vehicle. It's generally not that big of a deal. I removed these 2 fittings here, and then this whole side of the upholstery just pops out with these clips, so it shouldn't be too involved. I removed some tape here, and we can see there's the same color wires. We saw the blue, green, there's the white, red, the ones that we saw in the tail light itself. Now, the way we're going to cut into these wires, we're going to use tap-in splices. I'll quickly show you how to use those, but I have an actual full video, because if you're using these, you want to use them correctly, and I'll put a link to that video down below. As you're working on this and figuring out your wiring, you can do some pretty obvious things, like for instance, just to figure out which connector I'm going to be dealing with for the left signal light. Just turn on the signal light, right? And we can tell that it's this light up above coming on. So obviously we're going to be looking for that wire in this batch here, not the one down below. I was about to drill a hole here to get the wiring harness through, not this end, because I didn't want to drill a hole like that big, but I was going to put the other end, the wires through. And anyway, as I was down around the bottom of the vehicle, I noticed this rubber, I don't know what you call it. It's sealed right in there. And anyway, I poked around in it, and as you can see, that'll actually get me down into the bottom of the vehicle. So what I'm going to do is put a wire down there, tape it to these ends, and then haul these up through, and my 4-prong end will be down at the bottom. So you might have to drill, you probably will, but you know, look around a little bit, you might have easy access like that. So haul that up like so, and I'm going to put a bead of silicone in there to seal that up when I'm done. I'm also, I may have to haul one of these. I think the green wire, I believe we said, was for the right signal light. Or maybe it was the yellow. Anyway, I might have to haul that back down. I'm hoping I can get an appearance of that right side signal light over here. If not, I'll have to just wire this physically over to the passenger side. I'm going to temporarily tie wrap our connector to the hitch with lots of slack there until I get things wired in permanently. I have disconnected the electrical connector that went up to our signal light over here, and we're going to find out which wire we want to cut into on this circuit. Now, this is a great time to have a trouble light, and you can just turn your signal light on and put your connector for your trouble light in here to probe it to see which one is hot. I have a multimeter, and the problem with a digital multimeter is it just flashes a bunch of numbers at you, so it's hard to really get a correct indication, and I can't find my trouble light. So here's a 12-volt LED light for a fog light circuit we got coming up in the near future. I'm just going to turn on our signal lights. One sec. Okay, so our signal lights are flashing really fast because that's the indicator that you have a burnt out signal light, right? So we're going to see this when we hit the right one here. Let's go. You can see the three, hopefully you can see the three connectors here in the middle. I already know that's the ground, but we'll put it in there anyway. There we go. And look at that. So that is the wire we want to cut into, the top one. And we can see that is red, white. So we know that the red white is the circuit that we want to cut into, and we know that yellow is the wire that's for our driver's side signal light. So that's the circuit we want to add into. I mentioned about our splices. I got the video on it, but I'm going to quickly show you, so hopefully you don't have to go over to watch that video. But what we want to do is see that over on the left side. That's that covered block. That's for the wire that you want to put the additional circuit to. This side of the connector is for the circuit we are cutting into. So you lay that wire down like so. You got to be a little flexible here because, and we want to keep the yellow wire in there, and then we take our tab over, lock this into place, and then we get our pliers, and hopefully all of this is going to come through without me knocking my camera over. And that's going to cut into both of these wires and join them together. Right there. And we do that. Our little tab goes over like so. I always put tie wraps on these, little tie wraps too, to keep them together. I took the ground wire from our trailer hitch and put it to this good, solid, clean ground up in here. Now, to verify that my splice is good, this splice we just did here, I have turned on the signal light, and you can see the signal light is going there. And I also dropped down our wiring harness, and you can see that our trouble light is flashing away there because I have the black wire from that 12 volt LED light going into the ground, and the red wire here is going into our yellow. So we know that our wiring is good, and that simulates the trailer signal light coming on. So we only have 3 wires here, and one of them is a ground, so the process of elimination tells us that this blue, yellow, or whatever that color is, that's going to be for our tail lights. So I did the same thing. I cut into that circuit. I turned our lights on. We can see our tail lights are on. And we used our fancy trouble light, and you can see that I have the red wire going to the brown wire that we cut into for the tail lights, and our light is on. If you cut through any of the rubber grommets like I did here, put some sealant around it when you're done. For the right turn signal, I used the same method to find the wire, which is this top one over here. And I just extended the wire through to go over to the other side because I could not find an appearance of that wire in the wiring harness over here, which kind of makes sense. It is for the opposite side. And we did our usual test here. Green wire is wired out to our LED light, which you can see is going with the signal light. The wiring job is complete. I have the van connected to my tent trailer. I'm going to go up to the van. I'm going to turn on the lights so we'll see. Oops, I gotta move this a little bit. See our lights come on. Then I'm going to turn on the left signal light, Then I'm going to turn on the right signal light, and I'll hit the brakes, and you should see them all go. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.